such as that. Anyone who has questions, please type them into the E-UNI channel, and I'll respond from that. Otherwise, towards the end of the class, I'll let anyone ask any questions answer them to the best of my ability. So before we start, do we have any questions? Okay, good. First basics is ships that can hold drones and how many they can hold and such as that. If you've noticed, most Galente ships hold drones. There are a few other ships like the Caldari Drake can hold drones such as that. It'll have an M3 amount. Now, as far as M3 goes, it's real simple. Light combat drones, or light scout drones as they're called, hold 5. Mediums are 10, heavies are 25. Those can be your most common combat drones. We're going to start with them. Also, if you look at my bio, you will see the damage types you need. There's one drone for each damage type. I'm going to pop my name up in the E-UNI class so everyone can look at my bio for that. There you go. If you right-click your ship, press Show Info, and go to your attributes, you'll see drone capacity and drone bandwidth. Now, each drone has a certain bandwidth. It's generally the same size as the drone's capacity it takes up, such as light drones 5, mediums 10, and so on. Your capacity of your ship can be much larger than the amount of drones you can put in it. Or let me rephrase that. Say I'm currently in the Megatron. I can put 125 megabits a second, which is my bandwidth, out into space, and I have a capacity of 125 M3. Currently, I'm carrying 5 heavy attack drones, so I have enough bandwidth to put all 5 of them out at the same time and enough capacity to hold all of them. Now, by the way, you're very rarely going to be able to put out more than 5 at a time unless you're a carrier pilot, in which case I doubt you're in this class. Now, the capacity as well, if I put light scout drones in there, then I can hold, I don't know, like 15, 20 drones in the thing, but I can still only put out 5. Does everybody understand what I'm saying with that there? I'm taking silence as a yes. Okay, well, also you've got your drones versus the type of ships you'll be fighting. Now, a lot of people that level 1, level 2 missions aren't going to see anything above cruiser size. That means you'll be fighting a lot of small drones, you'll be fighting a lot of frigs, and sometimes a cruiser or 2. Now, my suggestion is to go with light drones because A, you can get to them quickly, using the skills, and B, they tend to do better than your medium drones. I see very few people use medium drones anymore because light seem to just be faster and hit faster. So therefore, light's usually the way to go, and most ships use drones for close targets that are harder for them to hit. So light drones is usually your way to go anytime you're in combat like that. That'll handle most everything they throw at you. Let's see. Frigates, drones, cruisers, like I said, those are all handled by light drones. Now, if you're going against several cruisers and you just need the extra firepower, go ahead and throw out your mediums. They can generally do a little bit more damage against cruisers. Cruisers are a little slower. If you have the ability to use heavies and you have the drone capacity and bandwidth, go ahead and throw your heavies out. One moment. My cat's still winning. Okay. Let's see. Upgrades. Now, upgrades aren't used as much for drones because usually you need those slots for weapons and such. My favorite one, I'm going to link in chat. 1 second. Now, this one I'm about to link adds another 20,000 onto the range of the drones you can control. Now that there is fairly easy to train for. It takes up a high slot, and most ships have an extra high slot, so there you go. Toss that out there. Put that on your ship. You can send your drones out even farther, which is great if you're trying to aggro something that's a million miles away and you can't hit it. So that's pretty much the only useful drone upgrade in my opinion. Of course, you want to use as many skills as you can to help drones, but not many people have time for that. Any questions right down the basis of that, go ahead and shout them out or type them either way. Just so I don't feel like an idiot, can someone please tell me y'all can at least hear me?
Oh, yeah, I hear you. That would be
Alright, just
funny,
making sure. Yeah, I would hate to be sitting there monologuing for 5 minutes. Alright, so combat. Now, one very big thing you need to remember when going out into combat is wait till you've aggroed your enemy. You know, once your enemy is all aggroed on you and everything, then you can right-click and release your drones. And the reason being is quite simple. Otherwise, they tend to lock onto your drones because your drones are generally more awesome than you are. Just a little problem there. So, yeah, make sure you've already gotten all the bad guys' attention. They'll lock onto you. You send your drones out. Now, for anyone who's actually in space and has a drone bay right now with the drone in it, if you notice at the top of it, it has the little arrow. Now, if you click that arrow and press Settings, it gives you a small option box with your drones. I generally keep that open for changing it around. Your options on there are Focus Fire, Attack and Follow, Passive, and Aggressive. Now, make sure that you have your Focus Fire checked because that one sends all of them, quite obviously, to the same thing. That way, you're putting all the damage on that one thing. It's going to take it down quick. The only time you wouldn't use this is, say, you're using a bunch of Tech 2 light drones and you're fighting small frigates. Then they can generally just go around and kill whatever they feel like, you know. But the Attack and Follow, I always leave that on myself. I've never tried it without it on. So they just, whatever they're beating on, they keep beating on it. Now, passive and aggressive. If you use passive mode, what happens is your drones will sit there in orbit around you until you start firing at your enemy. Once you fire at your enemy, even if you don't hit it, they'll all wish away and go after that enemy and try to kill it. However, aggressive mode is much more useful for ships like mine, larger ships that have a long time to lock onto things. If somebody shoots at you, if somebody's near you, or if you're shooting at something, those drones will go nuts and try to kill it. That's extremely useful for you guys who are slow at killing things, or if you're a very fast killer and you just want to lock onto other targets, let your drones handle a separate target, aggressive's the way to go. Now, I'd like to note about aggressive, however, if you are in a mining belt and you're mining and you have drones sitting there with you, don't put them on aggressive because a can flipper will come up, flip your can, your drones will try to kill them or kill him, and then that one has kill rights on you. Any questions about the drone overview? All right, assuming that's a no again. Now, I'm going to go ahead and jump down to logistics. I'm going a bit faster than I thought I would, but I figured I'll go ahead and get through my entire rant and then let people ask questions. Anyway, Boomer Shoot says it's not a kill right, it's a flag. Yes, that's what I meant. I'm sorry, not kill rights, but flagging. Anyway, logistics drones are generally used by ships that are going to be in fleet, obviously, because you cannot use a shield maintenance, an armor maintenance, or any of those kind of drones on yourself. You can only use those on other people. I don't know why. I wish they would fix it, but that's the way it works. And what you're going to do in order to do that is you have to lock on to your buddy and right-click that group of drones and tell them to engage. Make sure, yes, you can also use them on your own drones, as Vincent just said, but make sure that that your buddy unlocks you so you're not shooting him, and make sure you don't send combat drones after him. Now, the point that Vincent just brought up, that's a very useful point. I can actually take and, say I'm throwing out a couple of heavy drones, I can get a couple of medium shield boosting drones and put them out as well and have them repair my heavy drone. That keeps that drone in combat longer, and it can actually handle some tanking as well. That's a big bonus if you're out there by yourself and you don't have a big tank. So is anyone else having problems with me breaking up?
Nope.
Okay, Alan, I swear I'm not going like this. Yeah, okay, I'll stop that. Anyway, let's see. As far as those repair drones go, I would suggest mostly using the shield drones, simply because I've noticed almost all of you guys are out there in Caldari space, and I'm guessing most of you are Caldari and or shield tank. Give one moment. Stupid Windows Vista. Can everyone still hear? All right, just making sure. All right, now Gifar just asked a question. He said, if you have full aggro on you, though, then why do you need logistics drones on your own drones? As I was saying, if you are out there and your tank is low, like you can't tank that whole group, send your drones out as soon as they get there, and then they'll attack your drones as well. Or, as Vincent just said, a new spawn can go after them. That will allow them to take up some of that aggro there and tank a little bit as well. That helps you a lot. And she just asked, so Galente people would use armor repair drones on their drone. I tend to use shield drones on just about everything. I really wouldn't use the armor repair drones, because if they get to the armor, then you might have problems. Either way, right-click the drone, use the show info, look up the resistances, see which is higher. If your armor resistances and tank are higher on that drone, then that's the one you would want to use. You'd want to use your repair on the armor, or if the shield's higher, then use your shields. Did that clarify a little bit for you? All right, cool. Let's see. Other logistics drones, webifiers, neutralizers, those kind of drones. Now, when it comes to webifier drones, those are extremely useful if those are extremely useful. 1 second, I'm trying to read and talk. Boomer, if you tell the logistics drones to assist, from what I've experienced, they won't do anything. Now, if you're telling the logistics drones to engage that person, then they'll go up and they'll start healing it, or whichever one you're using on that person. But as far as assist goes, that'll only help in combat drones, and they'll act as though they belong to that player. Now, of course, the player won't get control of them or anything, but when the player locks on and attacks something, that drone will go after it too. Now, like I was saying, stasis webifier drones, energy neutralizing drones, those you see more in a PvP role, simply because what they're going to do is exactly what a webifier or an energy neutralizer would do. Webifiers will go up and hold down one, and neutralizers go up and suck the capacitor out of one. The neutralizers will be extremely good if you know you're going to be going against tacklers. Now, the webifier, I've actually got a method that I've been wanting to try, but I need to skill up for the webifier drone, and that's to take the webifier drone, stick it in there with my other heavy drones, and send them all out together, have the webifier slow that target down, and then let the heavies pound on it, because heavies are slow. That's another thing I forgot to mention. Your lights are your fastest, mediums are medium fast, and heavies are slow as crap. Okay, if you're trying to kill a frig, don't send a heavy, send a light. Just a word of advice. So, any quick questions about that? Alright, I'm assuming that's a no. Oh, wait, there we go. What skill are the E-War drones on? One moment, let me check that out. By E-War, which drones do you mean, like the Webbers? No, Sin. It will not warp, or it will not follow somebody who warps away. It'll try to kill it until it's gone, but it will not follow it after it warps. Shin, if you go to your drones, the grouping is called electronic warfare drone. And from there, you can click your little blue eye, look at prerequisites, and that'll tell you all the skills you need as well. Okay, Vincent says fighter drones from a carrier will warp after you. I doubt anyone's a carrier pilot currently, but hey. Derelict just asked, do E-War drones pick up bonuses from standard E-War skills? Not to my knowledge. If the drone says under its info that it does, then obviously it would. But from my personal knowledge, I haven't seen any bonuses from that. So if another player is a little more experienced with E-War drones, go ahead and speak up and answer that question.
No, they don't pick up the bonuses from the jamming skills, etc. The jamming skills to improve optimal and jamming strength, I think those are the ones he means. Only apply to the modules, not to the drone.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. This class is obviously going by much quicker than I intended, but now I'm going to go ahead and move on to Tech 2 drones. Now, Tech 2 drones are obviously my favorite because I skilled up in drones first. That's what I'm good at. Now, one thing you got to realize about Tech 2, when you get into Tech 2 drones, one, they're extremely expensive. So if you leave one, I would advise going back and getting it because it's about $500,000 for a light Tech 2 drone. But anyway, Tech 2 drones are. They're basically like having another player with you. They are fast, strong, and extremely destructive. I use Hobgoblin 2s personally, which are light thermal Tech 2 drones, and they rip through. I'd say they can rip through a frigate and a cruiser extremely fast. And yes, Vincent just brought up he scans and collects Tech 2 drones that are abandoned. That's so wrong. Anyway. I've seen my drones in particular take apart Drakes rather quickly, although sometimes I have to switch up to my mediums. But heavies are where it's at when it comes to Tech 2. If you bring 5 heavy Tech 2 drones out, they're going to chew up a lot of stuff. That's your moneymaker right there. Tech 2 drones would be your heavies. Got any questions about Tech 2? Alright, I'm assuming that's no again. In general, that's basically it. I mean, does anyone have any general questions about drones that I could answer? This is an extremely short class. It was meant to be 30 minutes. It's only been 20 minutes roughly. But, I mean, there's only so much you can talk about drones. But go ahead and shoot any questions. I'll answer them as best I can. Yeah, go ahead, Alex. What's your question? All right. Just to help with that real quick, while Alex is writing his question, Giefer, whenever you're dealing with a drone pilot in PvP, have a smart bomb with you. Smart bombs will kill a lot of drones very quickly. If you don't have a smart bomb, warp away. Generally, it's a pain in the butt trying to kill drone pilots. Gval says, what kind of weapons do you combine them with? I use long range and let my drones kill anything that gets close to me, but I'm a battleship. If you're a short range combat pilot, get you one of those link augmenters I showed, let them go out and handle the long range. That's really just how it happens. Now, Alan's asking if there's a shortcut to the launch specific group. I haven't found one that does that. I personally do have hotkeys to launch all the drones in general. I use I customize them. It's my control plus a number on the number pad. If you look in your hotkeys under your little options screen, that'll help you. Let's see. Drone on drone fighting from Sin. Go ahead and ask that question, Sin. I don't really understand it yet. Sin, if you're talking about other players' drones, there's really no point. Smart Bomb will take them all out. If you're talking about drones against NPC drones, little rogue drones, yeah, they destroy rogue drones. They eat straight through them. Titus, what's your question on sentries? G-Vault, you can actually fit multiple link augmenters onto your ship. I've run a logistics ship before, not an actual one, but a ship I was using for logistics with several link augmenters, and I've gotten my drones out, I think, as far as 100 kilometers away before. I don't think there's an actual range cap on how far you send them out. It's just how many units you have to help you do it. Now, Titus, that was just let's see, sentries in general. Personally, I don't use them yet, but I've looked into them a little bit. Basically, they're going to, when you pop them out, they're going to sit there and do long-range attacks. That's all I really know about them. Like I said, I haven't used them personally, and it'll be a while before I can use them, and I'm more concentrated on getting Tech 2 large hybrid turrets for my battleship right now. But if anyone else has used sentries, go ahead and pop up, or if you know anything about them in general, go ahead and pop up and let me know. Maximum in combat with a character, G-Vol, I believe, is 10. Shaylee, you asked what kind of drones. Personally, I use Coloumbia drones because I just like thermal damage and they look cool. I'm all about aesthetics. I like things that look nifty. Track just pointed out you can get an extra 3,000 kilometers for all types of drones, the electric warfare, drone interfacing. Sin, I believe that it will destroy allies, but I don't know. I don't use smart bombs very often. I used to have a character that was smart bomb specialized, but rarely encountered any drones, so I don't know. I've never had anybody with enough balls to try to take on my drone, so I don't know. I would imagine it's going to be kind of like picking up a giant shield container. I just walk up I used to, back in my heyday, would be walk up with a industrial, pick it up, and warp away. I don't think it'll cause you to flag, but just so you know.
I think if the drone's been abandoned, it's free game. Anybody can grab it.
Oh, yeah. If it's abandoned, anyone can take it. G-Vol, the thing is, most ships don't have drone bays. I mean, like I was saying earlier, Drake has a 5 M3 drone bay. That's enough to carry a single light drone, you know? When you get into low sec or 0-0, you will see a lot of people with drones, simply because they are pretty awesome. The trick is being able to either tank them or kill them. A lot of players will keep a smart bomb on board in that free slot, like we were discussing earlier, without starting to put your link augmenter in. A lot of players will keep smart bombs there just for drone killing. Yes. As far as I know, your drones can never go rogue. I have never even heard of somebody mentioning that, so I would say no. Your drones won't go psycho on you.
I'm of the opinion that's where rogue drones come from in the game. If you abandon your drones and they, quote, disappear, what really happened is they went off to the drone hype and themselves upgraded to rogue drones. So you never want to abandon your drones. You just make more rogue drone missions.
No, that'd be awesome, but I doubt somebody works that into the mechanics.
Oh, I don't think it's in the mechanics. That's all role-playing. But so what? It's still valid.
Oh, yeah, role-playing. Yes, I would definitely go with that that philosophy. Let's see. Now, Shin, if you started attacking a random court mate, chances are you were set for aggressive, and for some reason they aggroed you. That can be they were trying to heal you or something. For some reason, they made the drone mad. So, any more questions? I'm sure there's more questions. There no such thing as a stupid question here. There are a lot of stupid people who ask questions, but there are no stupid questions.
Good, so I guess I'll keep my mouth shut.
Or, as my grandfather said, there are no stupid questions, but there sure are a lot of inquisitive idiots. Your sizes are light, which are light scout drones. That'll be a 5M3 ship. Mediums are the medium scout drones, which are 10 M3. Heavy attack are 25 M3. And I don't believe there's any in-betweens for that. I think those are just your 3 regular sizes, with the exception of fighter drone. M3 is easier to say. Do you mean by that, Sin, that you have 15 megabytes of bandwidth and only a 10 M3 bandwidth? Vincent, when you assign your drones onto somebody, I don't believe that it changes the bandwidth.
So it's not their bandwidth that limits how many drones can be assigned to them?
It's the owner's bandwidth is the one that controls that. I've actually assigned 5 light scouts to my brother's ship before, which is a Drake, and he would send his drones, and my drones would go as well because he's firing at the target. You still technically control the drones. They're just assigned to go help that person.
Okay, is the range limitations then the range from your ship or from his ship?
It's still from your ship.
Okay.
All right, that's just about 30 minutes was the time that I allotted for the class. If anyone has questions, still feel free to ask. But if somebody comes in and says they want the classroom, we get kicked out. Any other questions, guys, gals, gender neutral, whatever you are. And the lone panda. No problem, y'all. I'm going to leave channel. Y'all have a good evening.
Thank you. Appreciate the class.
Yeah, well done, Coloumbia.
Thank you. Not bad for my first class, I suppose.
yeah, quite a lot of people listening in as well.